Hey guys, welcome. We're just setting up for a little stream here, recapping the round 4 performance. Mitchy, welcome. First one here on the ball today. We'll wait for a few more people to cycle in, and then we'll pretty much just get straight into it. You'll see. You'll see how we went, but okay, just setting up, Mitchy, appreciate it. It's honestly, I still enjoy playing Rugby League Live 4. I know it's probably weird for people to see, but I still enjoy the game, honestly. Oh, not too bad. Honestly, not too bad. We're yeah, same old, but always fun to hop on to talk about some Supercoach. And it's quite a bit to think about. Quite a bit to think about in Supercoach. Quite some trades to make. And it's yeah, I'm undecided. At the present time, but some big names that are underperforming, big names that you want to bring in. But yeah, we'll just hang out for a little bit. Just wait for people to filter in, and then we'll get started. I have Papi in my Supercoach, but I didn't captain him. I had Tago as my captain. I mean, honestly, Tago went pretty good. Can't be too displeased with that. We'll see. I mean, you'll see mine in a second. I mean, I might as well switch over to the proper screen here. Yeah, so you guys can probably see that yeah, we made one big mistake. We made one big mistake this week, and in hindsight, it was a bit foolish. I can't deny it. I got 14-22, and I am now top 2% overall. Man, I could have been so different. It could have been so different, and it probably should have been so different for me as well. But that's Supercoach, baby. That's Supercoach. You're flying high 1 week, and then honestly, that's why I'm disappointed, because I had, again, it was a pretty good week. I had some very big scorers, obviously. One big mistake, and could have, if I work it out, it probably would have been close to that high 1400 mark as well, but it is what it is. But yeah, as you can see, we got 1201 season rank. Honestly, and this is what I'm happy, I'm disappointed, but I'm happy that I didn't drop that many ranks. I think it was a week where there were honestly quite a few good captaincy options, and thankfully not everybody went with not everyone went with Papi, because if he was the one and only sort of really good option, man, if you didn't captain him, you would have been sort of gone for the season, because that's a massive swing. And I mean, I can't deny that I'm now playing from, probably a few hundred points back from the top echelon, but it's just a couple of good captain options away from turning into, a couple of other big scores. But yeah, we only dropped 2,908 places, which I was resigned to the fact that we're going to drop places, of course. But yeah, I'm not too displeased with that, honestly. We're still hanging in with the top crowd at the minute, and I'm fairly happy with the team overall. So we'll swing over here to the actual team. I'll show you guys how I did. Some letdowns, but also some high flyers. So we'll start out with the dummy half. So Tom Starling, 33. We traded out Reed Marnie for Starling. If you look at it in hindsight, I think Marnie scored 60, but he had a 40-20 and he got a try, I think. Yeah, he got a try. So what's that, 27 points? I think a 40-20 is 10 points and a try is 17. So, Marnie got 27 points in sort of, not junk, but, it is what it is. So, there wasn't too much else for Marnie. I still think it's I'm still not displeased with the trade. I don't think Starling is going to be like a keeper, and he wasn't really meant to be. He was sort of a stepping stone for this week to really go big with the trades, and I'm still fairly content with it. I would have liked a few more than 33, but it just, yeah. Starling's sort of going to be that player that can probably get 60, 70 one week, 30, 40 the next, and you sort of just got to ride it out a bit. Prout family, I'm in top 41%. You got to get a bit of luck. It's Supercoach can be a cruel game, and honestly, so I'm going to be honest, it's one thing that I still, and obviously I picked the wrong captain this week, but I've been saying this for honestly the last couple of weeks for the last couple of years, that I honestly don't like the way the captaincy works in Supercoach, because the whole Supercoach game is very luck based. You can, on paper, you can do all the research, you can do all the stats and figures you want, but at the end of the day, it's extremely luck based who actually scores the tries and what players pop off that year. So, and I don't have a problem with that, but the biggest problem I have is the captaincy. Your whole season comes down to who you captain. You could have one of the best weeks you'll ever have, but if you choose the wrong captain, your week is gone, your season is almost gone. And I just feel like there's too big an emphasis on the captain. And I'm not just saying this because I had a bad week with captains. I've had plenty of great weeks with captains, but I've hated the captaincy for years. I just don't like it. I sort of wish, and this would make it really just put it back to simplicity. And I honestly would like it, because it would add a bit more variety to the captains as well. I would like them to have the captain and vice captain. You choose those, and just your highest scorer out of your vice and captain get the double points. And it might seem, I don't know, some people might not like that, but I don't know. It takes a bit of the just bad luck out of it. If your captain gets injured and gets 5 points, you're gone. But if your vice captain goes well, you're good. And it also means you can have a bit of, you can experiment a little bit, because most people just captain the same people every week anyway. But this way, you could put a vice captain on a Coates or a Nenai or someone, and not be as punished if they go badly. But I don't know, it's not going to happen, but it'd be nice. Into the top 5,000 after a shocker start as a non-Hines owner. I'm very worried about this weekend. Yeah, I'm not that displeased with Hines. Obviously, he didn't go great, but I still think he's going to be a keeper to the end of the year. It was one of those games where he did nothing and he didn't look very good, but he still could have easily got over 60 points. But conditions and a few other things just didn't go his way, so he only got 44. I'm looking to upgrade Randall to Grant or Sexton to Hughes. I can't do both unless I boost. Yeah, looking at that, I would definitely do Randall to Grant Sexton to Hughes? I don't know. I mean, Sexton's been pretty solid. Like, the Titans are going to be a team that, I mean, we won't talk about the game against the Tigers. I mean, that's an anomaly. I don't know what the fuck that was. I don't know what that was. But the Titans are generally going to be a team that score well. So I think keep Sexton. I think he's a good pod to have, honestly. And I think he can match it with Hughes. I mean, Hughes is going to have some killer games. But, I mean, Sexton, I think, will score pretty consistently. But, I mean, up to you. I see you brought in Thompson, like I said. Yeah, I was tossing and turning. I mean, I'm not that happy with the trade, but I was sort of... Honestly, it came down to Bullimore being ruled out. I thought, you know what? Thompson has a starting role. Bullimore's out. So I might as well just use the trade boost and get Thompson in. And, you know... He didn't do as well as I was hoping, but if he makes some cash, then it's fine. So, I was on the fence about the trade, but honestly, it was, yeah. I thought, jump on the boat now, just in case like, if he starts and he bangs out like 50 points, you don't want to miss it. But yeah, it's a bit of a hit or miss type one with Thompson. Cleary a bit off form from injury. Yeah, I mean, I saw like, I think like 8% of people have Cleary in their teams. I don't know if that's probably not all people jumping on him this week, but like maybe a few people had him at the start of the year that aren't playing. But yeah, I wouldn't touch Cleary for a couple of weeks. I mean, he could go... Who are they taking on? Bulldogs this week? I mean, he could get 200, but I don't know. I feel like the Panthers, their attack works so well without Cleary anyway, so they more attack their left side with Luai, Kikau, and Tago. So, I mean, Cleary I think is going to be pretty solid still, but not a must-have yet. Couldn't agree more, mate. Finished 451st last year and didn't captain Papi when he scored 4 tries. yeah, I don't know. I don't like the way the captaincy works at all. It's such a swing. It's just so inconsistent as well. Grant is more upside, but Sexton has a tough draw and Hughes has a great one. Yeah, that's true as well. The Storm could put some big points on, as was shown on the weekend. You got very lucky with the D Brown pick. I mean, I think it's luck. I think it's excellent pickage by me. No, it's luck, but it's worked out pretty well. I was very tempted to go with Munster from the get-go, but I'm very glad I did not. I mean, Munster's been killing it for sure, but I mean, he got like 20 odd. He got 20 odd in this game. That's crazy, dude. Unreal. Tommy Turbo out with injury. I saw that. He said he's going to be... Yeah, it's a bit... I think he's like... Well, he's got a little niggle, but he probably will play. I don't know. It's one to keep an eye on for sure, though. Let's quickly go through the team before I waffle on too much. So, yeah. Randall got 62, which is nice. So, he got up a little bit more cash. I'm still probably going to trade Randall, but... Yeah, it's a bit annoying. Like, it's nice that he got 60 odd, but if he just got like another 40, I would have been like, yeah, we're getting rid of him for Grant, but I still will, even though he's got a bit more money to make. Jai Arrow 46. I see a few people talking like they're worried about Arrow's minutes. I mean, Arrow, I think, is one of the better front row options still. I mean, there was injuries galore, and he had to go into the bloody centers on the... I don't really know why they put him into the centers against the Panthers. Like, I don't know why Jacob Host didn't go to the centers and Arrow stay, like, more in the middle on the edge, but I don't know. They put Arrow in the center, which obviously killed his score, but, I mean, I'm still happy to keep Arrow. I don't know. I have no real reason to get rid of him. Josh King, 56. I mean, he got a nice little try to boost up the score. I think King has maybe got one more week and then potentially try to upgrade him to... I mean, probably Payne Haas. The only good front row options are probably Payne Haas and Isaiah Papali'i. So, yeah, I think give King another week or two. Hopefully he can jag a couple more attacking stats, and we'll try to move him up to someone a bit more long term. But he's done fantastic for me. I can't be more happy with bloody King in the team. Max King also 41. I mean, he doesn't really play many minutes, but my God, he scores some points. Leo Thompson, I did bring in late and for Bullimore, which, again, it made me some cash. I don't mind it, but hopefully he can just get some more minutes. He looked pretty good, but yeah, I don't know. He didn't get that many minutes for some reason. Then we move into the back row, which is pretty underwhelming. So, Fafita 53. And, man, I just... Fafita, he's killed me. I cannot believe that Titans game. I just don't understand what happened. Very frustrating. And it would, like, if I didn't vice captain Fafita, I would have vice captain Hines, and then I would have put the C on Papi, and it would have been so much different. But no, stupid me. I went with the vice captain on Fafita because I thought he was due for a couple of tries. No, not to be. Not to be. The two powerhouse defensive teams, apparently, the Tigers and the Titans, battling it out. It was... I mean, don't get me wrong. I was fucking hyped when the Titans won at the very last minute. I'm not gonna lie. It was good stuff, but it was a dull game. Turbo officially out for a month minimum. Really? That's crazy. I haven't looked on Twitter today, but that would be pretty big news for the Seagulls. Yeah, I'll go through the rest of you guys' comments in a second here when I finish the team. Josh Curran 49, pretty disappointing. But he was like, I got some decent upgrades like after the fact. I mean, Curran was, I think, like high 30s after the game, but he's bumped up to 49. I mean, not good. I mean, if I had, I had the choice to go Curran, or I could have gone with Payne Haas. But I think if I went with Payne Haas, I had to get rid of King. I can't remember. But I went with Curran. I'm still not, it is what it is. I think Curran is still going to be pretty good. I don't know. It was a weird game, that one. Tamalolo also bumped up. He was on like 50 odd. And then all of a sudden he's on 68. So I'm pretty happy with that. Jeremiah Nenai, the same, 37. I mean, again, it's not bad considering the Roosters. I mean, that game was fucked up as well. The Roosters. Dude, I'm not going to complain about the refs in this too much, but they have been terrible this year, and not just against the Bronx, not just against the Cowboys. They've been terrible against most teams, and as much as I hate to agree with some of the coaches who complain, like, it has been against the teams that are lower on the table. Like, the refs have been abysmal. It's been some shocking stuff, very shocking. That's right. I don't know. I don't think Haas is going to be out for that scuffle, but we'll see. I don't know. Maybe the Broncos try to make an example of him for a week or so, but I mean, I don't know. I think it's absolute nonsense. Like, it must have been so long ago as well, or maybe it wasn't that long ago, but I mean, it's such fucking, like, who cares? But yeah, they might. Ali Katoa. So I was actually away for most of the weekend, so I didn't get a chance to watch most of the games, and I didn't realize Katoa was on the bench, which was pretty annoying. So Katoa has to go, unfortunately. I honestly don't understand what the deal is with Katoa. He looks so good when he gets minutes, and then he suffers like a head knock or an injury, and then he just gets dropped. They just drop him for some reason. But yeah, Katoa's got to go. I'm still thinking Furmore, but we'll see. Tuolangi, so I apologize. So all my hot tips from last week were absolutely abysmal. I think I tipped Fafita to go 100 plus. I tipped Stags to go 75 plus, and I tipped who else did I tip? Well, I know I said play Tuolangi over Schneider, and so I'm mad. I'm mad because Tuolangi was easily the Tigers' best player. He was looking very strong. He was on 28 at half time. And then I think he might have... I know he hurt himself when he tried to make that try-saving tackle where Thompson just dropped the goddamn footy. But I thought it was his hand, or maybe it was a tackle later where he sort of got slammed on his shoulder. But then he didn't come back in the second half. I was losing my mind. Yeah, he would have got 60 easily. He was Like, he was easily the Tigers' best player. He was looking so dangerous, but, I mean, it just shits you, dude. Honestly, Tuolangi's one of these guys that would have been probably the cheapie of the season, but he just can't put together a full game. Like, it's been head knock, injury, and he was out with, like, was he out with COVID the other week, or was it injury? I can't remember, but yeah, he's just one of these guys that just can't seem to get through a full game. So I'm going to keep him, obviously. I still think he's due for some big scores, but it's been frustrating. Then we had Nico Hines, 44 with the captaincy. And like I said, he could have easily... And this is why, like, people are talking about Hines being, like, one of the best halfbacks in the comp now, which I think is ridiculous. Like, this game, he didn't look that good, in my opinion. He looked fine. I mean, they did beat the Knights pretty comfortably, but, I mean, you know, he was fine, but he didn't really do anything. He still scored 44. He could have been well over 60. I mean, if you factor in, if he didn't miss any kicks, that's an 18-point swing right there. Now, obviously, there were a couple of tough ones from the sideline to begin with, but with the weather, like, the kicks were basically impossible. So the conditions weren't good for it. So, I mean, in hindsight, it was a bad choice to captain Hines, but yeah, I'm still happy with Hines. He's still going to be I think he's going to be a keeper for the end of the year for sure. Brad Schneider, 38, which is pretty good considering I think he only kicked one goal. Didn't really have any attacking stats, so he's going to be good. Dylan Brown, 131. How good has he been? He's now up to 612,000. What was he, like 480? 460? What a tip. I'm so happy I went with him. Lockie Ilias had a bit of a breakout game. I thought he was pretty good. He had a try taken off him, which is, I mean, by the letter of the law, it's probably a no try, but disappointing. But he could have been like plus 70. So disappointing. He could have had a big score, but still 55. He'll make some good cash. And then the backs. Oh, this is where we start getting pretty juicy. So Isaac Tago, 70. Just once again killed it. Kurt Mann, 53. You know, pretty happy with that considering the Knights were pretty awful. Will Penasini, 73. And Taylor May. So, if you're watching last week, I had Fermor for Jack Bird. And then Fermor got ruled out with COVID. So we switched it and we went early on Taylor May. And it worked out so good. Because I think Jack Bird got like 60. Which is pretty good. Don't get me wrong. But that did include a try. And he was playing 5'8". Like, he looked fine at 5'8", but I'm very happy with the decision, honestly. It made me a lot of cash. Taylor May just looks... I mean, he's not going to keep scoring, but, I mean, it's nice to have it. And then, yeah, Billy Smith was ruled out, which is honestly nice because it made me just choose these four, and I didn't have to worry about who to play, because otherwise... I probably wouldn't have played Penasini, potentially. I mean, Billy Smith could have got 70 plus as well, but yeah, didn't play him. And then the fullbacks, oh, there he is. Oh, there he is, Pappenhausen, 193. Oh, fucking hell, dude, 193, 4 tries, just... And, I mean, again, like, I let people get into my damn head with the Bulldogs talk like they were better than what they are, dude. Like, I haven't really been impressed with the Dogs, but, like, I thought they were defending okay, and, like, a lot of people were saying that, you know, their defense is pretty solid this year. They're not too bad. But, man, in hindsight, like, I'm a fool. Like, Pappenhausen. I mean, the Storm, losing last week at Amy Park, playing again this week, taking on the Bulldogs, like, they were always going to put a score on. What was I thinking? But, yeah, Pappenhausen 193, and then Tedesco 88. So, yeah, it could have been another really good week. It was still solid, but, man, we could have done well. Let's go through some of these questions before I talk about other stuff. What have we got? I saw one here. Katoa to Talakai or Kotsa. That's honestly, I love Talakai, and I know everyone's gonna sort of talk up Talakai now that he got that big 100, but I mean, he's a gun, but I don't know. I mean, the fact that we've got more trades this year, I don't mind jumping on Talakai because, he's very liable to go back to the bench when they've got a full-strength team. But if you get a couple of weeks where he bangs out 70, 80 points, and then you trade him out when he goes back to the bench or something else happens, he gets suspended or something, it's not that bad. If you haven't used all your trades like that you could have, if you saved a couple, I don't mind the Talakai play. Ruben Cotter, I really like, and I'm definitely considering going Cotter because, I mean, I wanted him at the start of the year. Obviously, he was out with injury. He's looked really solid when he's come back. Like, he just gets through so much work. So, I'd probably lean towards Talakai just for a bit of a... Yeah, I mean, he's going to score better than Cotter. It's just a matter of if he's going to keep a starting spot either in the back row or center. And I can't see it happening, unfortunately, because he's really good on the bench as well. But yeah, I don't know. I don't mind Talakai for a few weeks. Wish I'd started with Brown over Man at 5'8". Yeah, I mean, it is nice. I mean, Man's been pretty solid, but yeah, Brown has been absolutely killing it this year. What else have we got? What do you think of Thomas Flegler getting reported 4 times? I mean, that was a joke, dude. That was fucking nonsense. Like, I mean, everyone can watch that and, like, maybe one of those incidences were actual penalties. The rest were just, like, oh, man. It's... Oh, some of the decisions that are just disgusting in this type of footy nowadays. I don't understand it. I don't understand it at all. And I think... Honestly, again, it's not something that I like to say because I always was sort of on the ref's side in a sense, but a lot of people do think that players have targets, and this sort of showed that they do. Like Flegler has been a bit silly in the past. He's done some silly stuff, but I mean, yeah, they had a target on him as soon as he played. Like, it was ridiculous. 1180 for me changed my C from Pap to Teddy on Saturday Arvey. I mean, still not bad. Like, Teddy still got 80 odd. You're not too displeased with that, but yeah, missing out on that almost 400 points it's pretty it's a kick in the guts for sure. Think I'll need to offload Starling for Grant 3 weeks in a row minutes. Yeah, I'm probably just going to keep Starling as a sort of backup hooker and hope he scores well, because I can see him banging out some big scores. It's just going to be a bit of an up and down roller coaster, and I'm probably just going to look to trade Randall. But there is a trade I was looking at, but probably with the Payne Haas stuff going on, maybe not. Ilias a play this weekend? No. I mean, the Dragons haven't been great, but Ilias, I wouldn't really be relying on him to score that well. Like, I think you're looking at sort of average around 30, 40, and you probably should have someone better than him to play, in my mind. Stags to May and Starling to Grantham. I mean, yeah, that's good. I would say keep Stags. That was the other thing. So the Stags talk, I know I said last week to keep Stags. I'm saying it again, dude. Keep Stags. Like, he's still like, Stags must have still scored like 40 points in a game where the Bronx got destroyed with just terrible calls, and also they didn't play well. So I don't know. I'm like, if you've kept Stags for this long, just keep him. Like, obviously, if you don't have May and you don't have anyone else to really trade for him, then yeah, I can see it. You definitely need to get Taylor May in. But if you can make another trade, I wouldn't hate it. Brooks needs to be dropped when Hayes... Oh, Brooks is one of the worst players I've ever seen. I mean, like... I'm going on what everyone else says, but it's just true. Like, he's just not good. Like, he's never really been good. Like, maybe when he first burst onto the scene, he was pretty solid. But yeah, he's just not a first grade halfback. It's just that simple. Like, there was so many times in that game. That's right, the Tigers. honestly, the Tigers were the better team, but every time they made like a break, I still remember a couple of times out to the left, Luke Brooks had like a 2 or 3 man overlap and he did nothing. Like any good halfback would put a little kick in behind. He would do a long cutout pass. No, Brooks does like a bit of a jink back on the inside and gets tackled and loses all momentum. He is absolute trash. He's so bad. Oh man. how he has lasted this long is beyond me, dude. I put Penasini in for Fermor when he was ruled out. Would have loved to sell a Monet for May, but then I'm short on Grant. Yeah, that's tough because, yeah, a Monet, I'm glad, I was considering starting a Monet at the start of the year, but I don't know, just something about him, I wasn't sold, and yeah, he hasn't looked that great, and obviously being dropped, what did he get, like a -1? I think he got negative points, which is pretty funny. Koala Abai, how do you pronounce it? Cooler? They say cooler, I think. Yeah, I mean, maybe. I don't know. Like, if Trebojevic is ruled out for a month, then he probably is. But if Turbo wasn't out, probably not, because I think Parker was only out with COVID. So Cooler probably just goes back to the bench. I don't know. He looked incredible. Like, I don't really know why he's not starting him. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why he's not getting a start, but yeah, I don't think Parker was actually dropped, but depends on team lists. Depends on team lists. If Turbo is out for a while, then I would say definitely bring him in. Yeah, Cooler. So yeah, Cooler could come back. Yeah, I don't really see them going with Cooler at fullback. I think Garrick definitely goes to fullback, and probably Parker goes to the wing and Cooler to center. I would think, but I don't know. Who knows, dude? Copped 1100 and I captained Munster over Paps. Oh, I mean, I can't fault the decision to captain Munster. Like, he should have gone big, but he just didn't need to do anything. It was the Papi show. So yeah. Do I keep Talakai? I mean, if you've got Talakai, I mean, he's been killing it. I don't know, why would you get rid of him? I mean, if he's dropped back to the bench, I would look at selling him, but as long as he's starting, you definitely keep Talakai. Oh yeah, and that's right. Yeah, they went for the bloody shot at 2 points. Oh, it's so good though. I love the ending. It was fantastic. I'm not gonna lie. It was fantastic. It's cool. I went to my high school and was in my year. Freak of nature. Yeah, I mean, he looked really good. He looked so good. So the trades. So there was one trade that I was looking at that looked really good. So I could go, and I'm probably not going to do this because I think King is still due for some money, but I could go, like, I've got 530k in the bank. I could go Starling. I could literally go Starling up to Harry Grant and Josh King up to Payne Haas. That's pretty good. Like that's a pretty good trade combo, right? Bringing in Grant and Payne Haas, but I don't think I'm gonna do that because I've got to get rid of Katoa. I think I've got to, like, I would probably rather get rid of Randall than Starling, and also Josh King. Like, he's averaging 50 plus, so I'm still like, I want to keep him for a bit longer. It looks really good, but I think there's probably other moves to make before I do that. I think Grant is definitely coming in for me. Because I can trade Randall up to Grant instantly, and then I can go Katoa to someone pretty good as well. Doesn't feel complete if Tigers win. I mean, it's how I felt with the Broncos for the last couple of years, so I know the pain. But I guess Tigers fans have been going through it for a while now. I guess the expectations are low. What's your thoughts on Rugby League Live 5? I mean, there's no info, so there's no real thoughts on it. I'm excited for when it gets released, probably later this year. I'm expecting end of the year. I really like those trades. I mean, they are good, but I do have to get rid of Katoa, and I could use the trade boost, but could be done, but yeah, I don't know. Those trades would pick up your score, man. I always love cash in the bank, but with that much, you're definitely giving away points on field. I mean, it's true, but I'm definitely getting Randall. Like, Randall's going to Grant. Like, I can do Randall straight to Grant, and then I can have Starling as a fourth reserve, because I think Starling didn't go well, but I think he's going to be pretty solid. And then Katoa, let's have a look. If I do Randall, let's have a look here. Katoa, Cotter, if he can keep a spot, Randall, Grant. Yeah, it's definitely what I'm thinking, because, I mean, Cotter's pretty solid. You can probably trade out Katoa and sub in Nrl into the second row, then get Haas. That's true as well, actually. Actually, that's not bad. I wouldn't quite have enough cash. I don't think I have quite enough cash for that, but that's a good little thought. I think I'm having like a couple of K off, unfortunately. Man, that would have been good. I'll have a quick look. Saving for Cleary. I mean, sort of. I'm not really in any rush to get Cleary. Like, he could kill it in the next couple of weeks, but I don't know. I'm pretty happy with the halves I've got. Like, Schneider is going to make good cash. Ilias is going to make good cash, or decent cash. And then Hines and Brown are being very good for me. So, I mean, I am going to get Cleary in at some point, but I'm not really in any rush. And I was thinking about it before, but, like, I'm pretty happy with the team. The only, like, must-haves I feel like I got to bring in, Harry Grant, for one. Payne Haas, yes, but also, I mean, he's been inflated a couple of times. Like, that game, obviously, he played like 70-odd minutes. Like, Carrigan got injured. Flegler was in the bin, obviously. So, Haas played big minutes. He's not going to play 70-odd minutes every week. I mean, he's still going to be the best front rower. So, I do think Haas has to come in at some point. But then I'm looking like the back row. No one's really, like, killing it. Probably Isaiah Papali'i. I guess the other front row are Isaiah Papali'i and Payne Haas. They're the two guys you're going to want to have. The back row, I don't know. I mean, probably Cameron Murray is the only must-have at the moment. He's killing it, but everyone else is sort of hit or miss. I mean, Kikiao goes big and then weak. Ola Kawatu has sort of fallen off a little bit. The halves, obviously Cleary at some point. And then at the 5'8", I mean, I was thinking Munster, but I mean, if he if he bangs out a couple of 20s, like, I don't know, probably Cody Walker in a few weeks is probably the ideal option. And then in the back line, I mean, I'm pretty happy with the back line. I mean, there's definitely some better high range options. I think Lomax is a good option at some point. Who else? I don't know. I'm pretty happy with it, though, honestly. And then the fullbacks, I'm very happy with the fullbacks. So the team's looking okay. There's just a couple of trades I got to make. No point in getting rid of Randall. He's still got money to make. I mean, yeah, but not much. Like, he got 62. He hasn't looked very good. He only played big minutes because Frizzell got injured, and I think they used Crossland more like in the forward pack, I think. But Randall isn't very good, and he's not going to make much cash. Like, he's not going to score that well every week. So I don't know. I mean, it is nice to make, but it's like investing, dude. You can't pick the absolute top and then sell, because having Grant over Randall even if it cost me like 50k, like obviously you'd rather have Grant. You'd much rather have Grant. And Starling, I think, can score way more points than Randall. So, I don't know. Maybe, you know, I might flip on that and trade out Starling. But, I don't know. It seems weird to trade Starling in and then get rid of him in the next week. That's handy. Randall should get a nice boost in price for 3. Yeah, true. Not really. I mean, I reckon Randall's goes up to like 350 at most. I reckon 350 at most. Maybe touches closer to 400, but not much. I wouldn't use another trade boost, save them for COVID. Yeah, that's sort of my thinking. I don't want to rip through them just in case. Yeah, I've got Taylor May. Carrigan is out for like a month, and Flegler is probably getting suspended. Yeah, that's true as well. Yeah, Haas probably will get inflated minutes again because of all the injuries to the all the players out now. So yeah, it's probably true. Probably true. Campbell, Graham, Tupou, and Lomax are people I'm looking to upgrade. Yeah. Yeah, Campbell Graham's probably one. Tupou has been killing it. He just keeps getting a try every week. Need Randall to get tackling like he did in his debut a few years ago. Yeah. I'd sell Starling over Randall every day of the week. I mean, Randall's just... I'm never going to... The thing is, I'm never going to play Randall. He's never going to be in the 17. So, yeah, he'll make some money, but I'll never see his points. So, what's the point? But let's quickly have a look. Can I actually... Someone said it before. Can I actually swing this trade if I go... Did I have to do... What have I got? 245. I can't trade at Randall. If I went Starling... Yeah, I'm not quite gonna have enough. Oh damn! Oh no! Oh, it's 5k less. Oh, that's a real kick in the guts right there. 5k. Oh man! Oh, that would have been beautiful too. I could have got rid of Katoa for Haas, and yeah, brought in Grant. That's rough. That's rough. Damn it! Damn it! Damn it all to hell. Oh, you know, I think this week my priority going in last week was just to get Grant this week. Haas wasn't the guy I was looking at. So I think I'm still gonna bring in Grant. It's just a matter of, do I trade out Starling or Randall? I'm leaning Randall, but maybe go Starling. I would save some cash, I guess, as well doing that. And then Katoa, we could definitely upgrade to someone pretty decent, or we could downgrade to someone cheaper, depending. My second row has been so underwhelming. Yeah, Olakawatu, Arrow, Fafita, and Satili, where... yeah, that's a lot of guys that sort of need upside. And I mean, you could come out and they could bang out some tries and you'd be laughing. But yeah, if they're not getting tries, then it is a bit disappointing. Starling has that attacking upside. Yeah, for sure. And we'll look, who are the Raiders got this week? They have the Storm. Okay, so it's not great. That's not fantastic that the Raiders are versing the Storm. Yeah, maybe leaning towards dropping Starling now, because you know, I don't know. The dummy halves have been the bane of my existence so far this year. It's been a nightmare. Usually the dummy half is so easy. Usually you can pick and stick with someone and do pretty well, but I don't know. This year has been a bit of a nightmare. I know nothing about this game, but you should get Reece Walsh. I mean, he's been pretty good. I'm not going to drop Papi or Tedesco, but he has been pretty solid. I can't deny that. Stags and Amone for May and Tupou, or Stags for May and Randall for Grant? Ooh, Stags and Amone for May and Tupou. I think the second option is better, because Grant is better than Tupou. 100%. I mean, Tupou has been killing it, but I think Grant is a safer bet. But, I mean, it is nice to get rid of a Monet because the second option, you do keep a Monet, which isn't great. But I don't know. Honestly, either of those are pretty solid, but I'd probably lean towards getting Grant in. I mean, Grant is going to be going up in price, so it's going to be hard to get him in if you don't get him in this week. So I think it's probably time to get Grant in if you don't own him. 62 is about Randall's max. He basically never assists, so Starling's a better keeper. Yeah, I mean, that's my thought process. Like, Randall just doesn't have any attacking upside. He's got a decent passing game. He makes tackles. And that's pretty much it. Which is fine if he gets big minutes, but that's been the problem. He like, Crosland is on the bench, and he hasn't been getting that many minutes. So, yeah. Is Tuolangi injured? I missed that game. I'm glad I did what I heard about it. Yeah, it wasn't a great game to watch. Yeah, he hurt his shoulder. Hopefully he backs up, because again, I mean, if he gets named, I'm gonna reserve him. I still think I still think he's like a genuine play in your 17, but it's been frustrating. But yeah, he injured his shoulder. He played the first half, scored 28. He was on track to go pretty big, or at least pretty solidly. And then, yeah, didn't come back for the second half, unfortunately. But I don't think it's anything too serious. Thoughts on having Munster and Brown? I think that's a fantastic combo. Yeah, I mean, they're both top echelon in 5/8s. I mean, Munster obviously had a poor week, but I mean, he's still. I would still tip Munster to be the top scoring 5/8 at the end of the year, depending. You know, if you want to wait a few weeks and get Cody Walker instead of like a Munster, unless you already have those two, then if you already have them, then yeah, keep them. They're great combos. Up the Eels. The Eels, when they get on a roll, they definitely get on a roll. That is for sure. And they're coming up against the Titans, which, I mean, who knows? I mean, it should be a very high-scoring game, but it's at Seabus, so the Eels don't play as well away from home. That is for sure. And I don't know. The Eels are a weird team. Like they look like absolute world beaters, and then the next week they're a rabble. So I don't know. I'm definitely going to tip the Eels, but the Gold Coast, I wouldn't be surprised if the Titans upset them in that one. But yeah, let's have a look. So if I trade out Randall, for Harry Grant, we're just gonna have a look to see what we can do. So that leaves us 200k in the bank. So I can then trade Eli Katoa for. I've already got a highest price. Someone at 536k. Get someone pretty good. Although, again, I was talking about this with the second rowers. No one's really knocking it out of the park, unless other than Cameron Murray, Papali'i. I mean, let's have a look at the total points. Who's leading? So it's Cameron Murray, Papali'i, and then Isaac Tago, the center. Kikau was back to a bit of try scoring. Then you have Nat Butcher, Tyson Frizzell, who's injured. I mean, Talakai. I mean, you could get in Talakai, but honestly, maybe I'd take a risk and bring in Talakai. Honestly, if he just gets a few more weeks starting, and then I could potentially just trade him out. But there's no one else that I want in the second row. That's the biggest annoyance at the moment, because I can't afford Murray or Papali'i, but other than that, it's a bit barren. There's a lot of guys that can go big, but they can also go very small. I bought Talakai and Grant in. Honestly, that's what I'm looking at, dude. That's what I'm looking at right there. That looks pretty tasty. Let's have a look. What rank? I'm like 4,000. A tick over 4,000. I dropped like 3,000 spots. by not captaining Papi, but honestly, I was pretty happy to still sit in that, top echelon at the moment. So not too displeased. A disappointing week for what could have been, but still, we're going okay. If I trade out Starling for Grant, that leaves me with 284. Can I bring in? No, I can't. Oh man, we're just away from everything I want in life. We can't quite afford Payne Haas with that Eli Katoa to Payne Haas. And we can't quite afford... I mean, we're a bit away, but not that far from Murray or Papali'i. That's disappointing. I guess the other guy I wanted to look at, because of this Katoa thing, is Jazz Tavanga. I mean, Jazz Tavanga is a genuine Supercoach gun. If he gets any sort of minutes, Tavanga is incredible. Now, he played lock, and I think he played big minutes. Again, I didn't really see much of the game at all. But he is pretty cheap now, I think. Where is he? How cheap is he? Jesus. Did I just go past him? I must have gone past him. I'm a damn fool. Let's just go. Let's just go to the teams. I can't see. Where are the Warriors? Where the hell are they? Where the hell is he? There he is. Jazz Tavanga, 419k. He got 76 by playing big minutes. He is an absolute super pod. If he can just play some big minutes, man, Tavanga, I want to bring Tavanga in, but I can't trust it. Like, I remember a couple of years ago, he was one of my best pods. He just scores so well. Like, he has really good base. He offloads a lot, and he, like, for a small guy, like, he's pretty stocky, but he breaks a lot of tackles. He makes a lot of offloads. Is he suspended? Oh, man. Jazz is suspended 2 to 3 weeks. Oh, Jesus, dude. It must have been for that tackle, right? Damn. Oh, man. All of my plans are falling through. I mean, what I could do, and what I was thinking, Randall to Grant, and then Katoa to both for more, because I was going to get him for more last week, but obviously he got COVID. Yeah, the tackle on Carrigan. I mean, that's some bullshit. Like, Tavanga is a little bit of a dog, dude. Like, it's fucking injuring players. Should get more than 2 to 3 weeks, but whatever. But yeah, Randall to Grant, and then Katoa to Furmore, because, yeah, I mean, I think Furmore is still, he's looked, honestly, one of the best players for the Titans, and honestly, without him, like, they even shifted Fafita to the left-hand side where they do their best attack, and he still looked useless. So, I think if Furmore obviously gets back into that starting team, because he has been incredible to start the year, he looks honestly the most dangerous player for the Titans. He runs really good lines. He's solid. He's pretty quick for a big man. Or Talakai. Oh, Randall, Grant, Katoa, Talakai. Maybe move Arrow down to see those options too. Yeah, but the only thing, like, I would move Arrow down, but honestly, there's no one in the front row that I want other than Payne Haas or Papali'i, and I can't afford either of them, unfortunately. And there's no one else. There's literally no one else in the front row that I would want. I mean, we'll have a quick look, but look at total points, and yeah, I mean, Payne Haas and Papali'i are so far out in front. I mean, Josh King is 4th. Josh King is 4th. Tino is averaging 60, but I mean, he's sort of been boosted a bit with the try. Arrow is 5th. I mean, I've got King and Arrow. They haven't been, I mean, King has been incredible. Arrow's been okay. There's just no front rowers other than Payne Haas and Papali'i. Yeah, it's pretty barren. So I'm not really in that big a rush to sell King or Arrow. If I can't get Haas or Papali'i, then yeah, it's sort of not really worth it. So I'm thinking, at the moment, I think I'm penciled in Randall to Grant, Katoa to Talakai. Or Fermor. I don't know. I mean, Fermor's been pretty solid, so it's hard not to bring him in, but we'll see. I'll almost wrap this up. I'll talk to you guys a bit more, answer some questions, and then we'll hop off. So Fermor over Fafita this year, 100%. Fermor, like I was saying that Fafita should go to Fermor's side and Fermor should switch, but no, Fafita. And I know like people keep like a bit of complaining about Fafita here. Everyone keeps saying that the Titans aren't using him well, and I agree in the attacking zone they're not using him well, but Fafita has been so lazy. He is so frustrating to watch. Like, you see other guys, and that Tigers game was a great example, right? You got a guy like Tuolangi in the first half. When he runs the ball and makes contact, he keeps driving the legs to like break tackles and get an arm free. Fafita, every time he makes contact with the defender, he just stops. He just stops in his track and just waits for them to tackle him. He doesn't try to break tackles at all. If someone wraps him up, he doesn't drive the legs. It's so annoying. It's so annoying. I can't stand it. It's just like, man, the size of a tree, just fucking, just power through. But I don't know. I'm expecting a turnaround. Possibly move Tago up, see the center options too. I always forget about that, honestly. I appreciate you, Michael Bauer, because I honestly forget to do that. I forget about the duels. I mean, I don't really want to move Tago up, but I guess Tago's the third best second rower, so honestly, it's not a bad option. And there's definitely some good centers that I could bring in. So yeah, we'll have a look at that. Sean Johnson, nah. Johnson, not going anywhere near Johnson. Would you still carry Fafita with Fermor coming in? Yeah. I mean, I can't really trade out Fafita this week, honestly, unless I use a trade boost. And I don't know. I'm just clinging onto the hope that Fafita can just score a couple of tries. I mean, he's averaging 60 and he's done nothing. So I'm still like, he's still going to do something, right? These crap trade weeks like this are probably when we should save trades. Yeah, I do agree with that, but I definitely have to get rid of Katoa, and I definitely have to bring in Grant. So I have to make 2 trades, but I'm definitely not using the trade boost. Yeah, the 6 ago, yeah, him into a little bit, but I mean, he hasn't scored a try yet, which is crazy. So, I mean, he's due to score a couple of tries. But yeah, let's have a look here. If we trade out Katoa and we switch up Tago and we look at this, I guess we should, you know what, to make it simpler. Actually, no, I shouldn't have done that because I want to see who I can get for like Grandoline and Starling. Let's try Randall first to Harry Grant. See what we got to work with. So we got 536 with the Randall trade. Who can we bring in? Tupou's a little bit too expensive. Who else do I like? Greg Marju. He had a bit of a shocker on the weekend, so I don't know. I mean, Zach Lomax is there. He looks very tempting, but I don't know. Getting in a center wing, it's a lot more risky, right? I mean, he's averaging 60, so it is nice, but I'm sort of like just getting Fermor. Like, I mean, Fermor is averaging about the same. I mean, Campbell Graham we could get as well. There's definitely some good options for sure. Yeah, I definitely don't mind it, because if we go down here, no, not too much else. There's Fermor. I mean, he's still only 439. He's gone up 60k, but he's averaging 67. So I just think he's probably the best option. And then, like, if we got rid of Starling, we'd have a lot more money, but I don't really, like, I could bring in Tupou But anyone else, like Gagai, I mean, he's been killing it, but I don't really want to get Gagai for that much. Garrick, no. Dewey, no. To'o, no. So, yeah, I'm thinking still Talakai or Fermor. Ewan Aiken, I'm not, yeah, I don't really want to go near Aiken, honestly. He's been fine. Like, honestly, if you have him in your center wing, he's been pretty good. But, yeah, I don't think I'm going to go with Aiken. Nah, definitely wouldn't be getting in Garrick. But yeah, that'll wrap it up for the post round 4 Supercoach video. Appreciate you guys coming out. These are always a lot of fun to do. And yeah, we'll be back. Depending what day I can do it, it'll either be probably Wednesday. It'll either be Wednesday or Thursday that I do the bloody round 5 preview stream. But yeah, thank you guys for coming out, and yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one.